How do you overcome this? Because none of the condition you will be able to satisfy of notification committee. First is a full value of exports you will not be able to determine. Even if you determine, you don't know when it will be received. So the retention money is always part of every component, isn't it? Normally in project export, you say there are some condition pre-made that you must survey, you must allow us to survey the site for the project, understand what kind of a civil work is required. Then there will be deposit to be given at the time of bidding the documents, bidding the bid. Then they will say, okay, when you give design and drawing, we'll pay you 10%. Then they will say, on material supply, we'll pay you 40%. Then they will say, we'll pay you completion of the building so much percentage. And then when you give us a trial production, we'll pay you 10%. And 10% will retain for 1 year. So 10% which is retained for 1 year is a the machine says you're not looking at the side
here.
on this, you don't require.
One is what?
No problem. Okay. Then the 10% retention is part of which? Is part of a raw material, is a part of design and drawing, is a part of civil building. We don't know. So full value of consideration will never be likely to be received on any of this component during the completion of the project. Because 10% which is paid on the completion of design and drawing and supply of design and drawing, that is not a consideration for design and drawing. That is not a consideration for design and drawing. It's payment on the basis of milestone. There is no payment for design and drawing if you are not going to perform the rest of the work, isn't it? So, before design and drawing completed, when mobilization and advance is given. And when you give mobilization and advance, you have to issue a performance guarantee to the overseas buyer. Of course, that is covered by notification 8 that performance guarantee is allowed when you have an export order. So the RBI issued circular in 2003. Project export. Unfortunately, you don't find the presence of this circular in any of the master circular. And therefore, if you see master circular, you will not get any answer on this. The procedure is, you file form DPX 1 with the authorized dealer or Exim Bank or the working group of the Reserve Bank of India in order to consider this transaction, and file the form DPX 1 in advance, covering all the aspects which are mentioned so far. They talk about third-party imports, they talk about local services, they talk about services from India, they talk about banking funding, they talk about exemption in foreign countries, etc., etc., etc. If you have given these details in advance, and if the authorized dealer is approved, then you can do all the aspects which you have not been able to do because of the notification 23. Is that clear? That means all the payments as per the milestone will be received in India, and all the payments as per the requirement mentioned in DPX 1 will be allowed to be remitted abroad. Further, a project office is only one reference in FEMA, notification 10. An Indian company carrying out a turnkey project outside India can open foreign currency account outside India and consider the activities outside India and close the account when the project is completed. This is the only reference you get from FEMA. Rest of the items are available in PAM manual. There is about 30-40 page project entrepreneur memorandum issued by the RBI. So that solves your all questions. The idea is not to tell you that this circular is not formed. The idea is to what are the informalities which are available in the existing notification and how they are addressed by Reserve Bank of India in a logistic manner by making the circular. Why circular again? It's a current account transaction. Is that clear to you? It is not found in any of the capital account transactions. Now coming to the other issues of
Performance bank guarantee to the client abroad India requires approval from RBI because it will
notification 8 on guarantees. RBI has permitted generally to all exporters to issue performance guarantee against the mobilization advance. Correct? Is that clear? There is general permission. There is no notifications. Because you have an export order. You have mobilization advance. You have DPX 1. There is no notification. Then comes to ensuring the payment from the from the customer. It's very simple. It's a banking basically. That every milestone payment is ensured by the bankers outside India by acceptance of letter of credit. Chirag knows this answer very well because he's working in a bank. He's working in a foreign bank. I think he has learned enough and he's left. Isn't Chirag? You left?
No.
You're still in bank? So this is a general knowledge. No, we say it's not a special knowledge, but you can structure a transaction by getting a letter of credit for each and every milestone payment being accepted by the foreign bank on behalf of the foreign customer, and we can definitely ensure this payment. Now, coming to the project export, the government of India, when you see the famous circular, you see bilateral arrangement between the two countries. That government of India has entered into an engineering procurement contract with the government of Ethiopia for $200 million for sugar project. Right? This is something to do with the project. See, African countries are like 1960 of India. They all need a lot of requirement. Sugar project, power project, railway line, electricity, transmission, distribution, etc. And they are looking in a big way and in a very, very optimistic way towards India. That if India can help us, we want to get it from India. We don't want to get it from China. We don't want to get it from Europe. Europe for obvious reason, China for obvious reason. I don't want to mention. So therefore, every month you will find that the government of India has sanctioned $200 million to the government of Ethiopia for sugar project. Then you will find government of India has sanctioned $22 million to government of Senegal for the transmission line from this place to this place. How this has come? This comes to the knowledge of the general user, and when. See, these projects are negotiated by Indian party only. Those who are proximate to the foreign governments. For example, our example is sugar project in Uganda. The Indian party who is in touch with the government of Uganda will negotiate, and the bid will be made in accordance with the negotiation, which is carried out. This negotiation goes on for a couple of years, and then Indian client who is a project exporter helps the foreign country also in establishing their credit rating so that they get the loan from the government of India through an Exim Bank line of credit. So therefore, when the announcement comes in the FEMA newsletter or in the Western India Regional Council's newsletter, the contract is already awarded to the Indian party. And the contract is exactly the value which is mentioned in the circular. You will find sometimes 16 million, sometimes 22 million, sometimes 50 million, sometimes $200 million. Right? So this is exactly as per the contract negotiated. Then the foreign government applies to the government of India for the requisite loan. Then the government of India specifies the condition that no, why should I fund you? Where is your rating? What is the advantage of this country? The government of India puts a condition there the 75% of the value of the contract must be exported from India. Only 25% can be locally sourced or from an outside India. This is the main condition you will find in any project export which is through an Exim Bank line of credit. And therefore, DPX1 is to be filed with either authorized dealer or an Exim Bank or the working group constituted by the Reserve Bank of India. So this is the significance of those circulars you get from time to time. Then we come to income tax and the service tax. The client doesn't want to go to Paresh Bhai when he comes to Vijay Bhai. He says, Vijay Bhai, can you find a solution for me? See, the problem has come to the fore and become very apparent when service tax introduced the negative based service tax, negative list service tax. See, if you see the case study also, that the Indian company, Turnkey Project company, is contemplating all the services also from the service provider in India. Now, as per the POP rules and the provision of service rules under service tax law, if a one resident is providing services to the another resident, but a performance is outside India, it is still liable to service tax in India. In our case, service provider is in India, Turnkey Project service export provider is also in India. It will be liable to service tax in India, although not a single day work is carried out in India. However, there is a zero line in service tax law that if a branch is taking a services outside India, it is considered a separate entity under service tax law. Very simply, therefore, that the Indian companies must have a branch abroad in order to take a services from Indian company, which is a service provider separate from the Turnkey Project provider company, so that service is provided outside India, performance is outside India, not liable to service tax in India, even on a reverse charge basis. Is that clear to you? So therefore, I have put a mark at the project office versus branch office is only for the purpose of service tax. Then come to income tax. More so from the perspective of the payment of services to a non-resident and not the resident. The case study also covers a payment of cost to the non-resident and the resident, both the parties. Section 917 says, if the payment is made by a resident to a non-resident, it is taxable in India in certain circumstances. However, there is an exclusion. That if the payment is made by a resident to a non-resident for the project or the business of a resident outside India, then such amount will not come for the consideration of taxability in India if it is in the nature of fees for technical services. So therefore, if your project, you have to establish what is your project. You have to establish whether you have a branch abroad, whether you have permanent establishment abroad. If these are identified and documentation is being made properly, I believe the income payable to another resident or a non-resident for a project outside India, only non-resident will be exempt or will be excluded from the purview of the non-resident taxation in India. That completes the case study on project export. Any questions are welcome before we break for the lunch. Yes, please.
Very you mentioned that a certain circular is not so easily available also. What is the source of getting this circular?
Yes, very important question. Very interesting question by Vijay Bhai. That what is the source of this circular? There is history on source. 10 years ago, when FEMA came in force, 14 years ago. In 2002, eximkey.com launched the updation of the circulars. Prior to that, we used to go to our building and pick up the contract, pick up the circular from the publication cell. Now this is closed because it is available on the RBI website. But you need to go through the websites. Eximkey.com, they have given the circular in line with the dates. So you just search project export. You should know what is to be searched, that's all. Then you will find what are the circulars. On RBI side, these circulars are stored on a yearly basis. So you need to know what is the year in which the circular has come. Otherwise it is difficult to find out. Most of the circulars are compiled in the master circulars. So if they are not compiled in the master circulars, then only there is a difficulty. The next important source is a Taxman site. Taxman has updated all the notifications with the amendment as the income tax law is amended. This is the only site which I found that it is amended on a day-to-day basis by the Taxman. Taxman, there are two columns. When you go to FEMA, there is a rules and there is a notifications. When you go to the rules, you will find the amendment. When you go to notification, you will find the notification as it was in 2000. Is that clear? You go to the rules, you will find all the notifications with the amendments, with the noting below it, 1, 2, when amended, why amended, what was the repeal section, etc. So this is the only site on Taxman which I thought is most updated site. And the another most updated site is my office, Mrs. Deepika. You can always ask her if you have difficulty, she can immediately email to me. Yeah. My each notification which she is maintaining in the office is more than the 4 times size of the current notification because it has every amendment with a circular reference to that particular paragraph or to that particular regulation or to that particular definition. So it has gone 4 times the original notification. So these are the 2 sources. Third source I don't know. Thank you very much for the patient hearing.
Friends, now we break for lunch and we'll reassemble at 1:30.